Hello everyone, this is Grace Academy and this is day one of our 10 days AWS Masterclass. In this episode, we will look at what cloud computing is, and this is more of a theoretical section, so we will not do any practical thing in this episode. So let's start by defining what cloud computing is. So, cloud computing is the delivery of various computing services such as storage, processing power, networking, even databases over the internet. So, instead of relying on physical hardware and on site data centers, cloud computing allows companies to access these resources online through the internet, often through a pay-as-you-go model. So basically, what pay-as-you-go model is, you will only pay for what you use. So before before getting into details about cloud computing, let's talk about on-premises setup. On-premises refers to a setup where all the hardware, the software, and the infrastructure required for computing are physically located within a company's own premises, typically in its own data center. So, companies will purchase and maintain all the physical components, including servers, storage devices, networking equipment, and the software used by employees. And instead of accessing all these resources through the internet, they have to purchase all these resources and they have to bring all these resources to their own data center, and additionally they have to maintain all these physical components. So on the cloud computing in the cloud computing, all you have to do is you will just subscribe, or you will just subscribe to some third party provider like AWS or GCP from Google, or Microsoft Azure, and you will you will you can access all these things through the internet. So the maintenance is the responsibility of maintaining all these physical components is in the third party providers like AWS. So you don't have to worry about maintaining all these resources. When we come to the on premises, you will have to maintain all these physical components. So I think that is the basic difference. So uh, the companies will choose using the on-premises setup for various reasons. So basically, most of the time, they use this on-premises setup, for example, for security purposes. If their data or their system is uh, sensitive, or if they have data that is too sensitive, like banking institutions or healthcare organizations, they may choose on premises. And maybe for compliance requirement, companies may choose the on premises one. So now let's talk about types of cloud deployment models. There are four types of cloud deployment models. So the first one is public cloud, then private cloud, then hybrid cloud, finally multi-cloud. So now let's talk about each of them in depth or in detail. So uh, a public cloud is owned and operated by third-party providers such as Amazon Web Service, AWS, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud Platform, GCP, Oracle, Huawei, and so on. So all the hardware, the storage, and the network resources are managed by the cloud provider and shared across multiple clients. So it has its own benefits, like it's cost effective, it's highly scalable. You can use public cloud or public cloud deployment model, like for hosting a website, for say software development, to store your data, or yeah, you can use the public cloud for various reasons. The second one is the private cloud. A private cloud is a dedicated environment for single organization. It can be hosted on premises or by a third party provider. So the main concept here is the environment have to be a dedicated environment to a single organization, either hosted on premises or by a third party provider. The organization controls all aspects of the cloud environment from hardware to network configuration. So when we say private cloud, we are not saying all the resources are on the company's data center. We are only saying all these physical components or all these resources are dedicated only to that specific company. It can be either on the company's data center or it can be in the cloud. The only thing that we need on the private cloud deployment model is the resources have to be dedicated only to that single organization. So uh, in this case, financial institutions may use the private cloud, maybe government agencies or organizations handling sensitive data, like I say earlier, healthcare providers may use the private cloud. Now let's talk about hybrid cloud. A hybrid cloud combines both public and private cloud environments, allowing data and application to be shared between them. So this model offers flexibility, enabling workloads to shift between on-premises and public cloud resources based on needs. So let's take an example. For example, there is a company X, and this company X needs scalability for its big data processing service. So for this case, he will use a public cloud like AWS. And this company also have critical or sensitive data that have to be private. So the security is the main concern for this critical data. So for the critical data, this company will use the private cloud since it's more secure. So this company combines both the public one and the private one. It will use the public one for big data processing since the public cloud is more scalable, and for the critical data, it will use the the private cloud. So let's talk about multi-cloud. Multi-cloud refers to the use of multiple cloud services from different cloud providers within a single organization. And instead of relying on a single provider or company, on a single provider, companies use services from various providers such as Amazon Web Service or AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud or GCP, or others based on the specific strengths or capabilities each offers. For example, company X has three services, like it has web application, or web application, and it they also have database, and they also have backend application. So for the database case, they may use AWS RDS. For the web application, they may use Google. For the backend application, they may use Microsoft Azure. So instead of relying on a single cloud provider on the multi-cloud deployment model, we will also mostly we will prefer using various cloud providers. So that is the main concept behind multi-cloud. Now, benefits of cloud computing. Uh, there are a lot of benefits of cloud computing. So basically, I have only listed four of them here. I just picked these four randomly. So the first one is cost saving. So cloud computing reduces or eliminates the need for a large upfront capital expenses on physical hardware and infrastructure. So instead, businesses pay only for the resources they use on a subscription or pay as you go model. The second one is scalability. So businesses can easily scale resources up or down based on the demand. There is also accessibility benefit. Cloud resources can be accessed from anywhere with an internet connection. So uh, the final concept for this section is popular cloud computing models. There are three popular cloud computing models. The first one is infrastructure as a service or IaaS. The second one is platform as a service or PaaS. The third one is the software as a service or SaaS. So the first one, infrastructure as a service. Uh, Imagine you are building a website or an application and need some serious computing power like servers, storage, and networking to make it run smoothly. So IaaS lets you rent this infrastructure over the internet instead of buying physical servers. So basically, you get access to virtual servers, storage, and networking, which you can control remotely. So you don't have to bring them to your own data center. You just can access remotely using the internet. So you manage the application, and the data, while the provider takes care of the physical infrastructure. So you don't have to worry about the physical infrastructure like the servers, the storage, the networking, and other aspects about the infrastructure, the underlying infrastructure. So all this will be handled by the third party provider. The second one is, so if you need an example, for example, Amazon or AWS provides an EC2. There is also in Azure, Microsoft Azure virtual machines. In GCP, there is Google Compute Engine, and so on. The second one is platform as a service. Now, let's say you are a developer and want to focus solely on writing code for an application without worrying about the underlying server or maintenance. So, PaaS offers full platform like servers, storage, database, and the development tools. So you can just build and launch an app. So basically, what PaaS will do for you is it will give you a ready-to-use environment where you can develop, test, and deploy your application. So the cloud provider manages the infrastructure, so you don't have to worry about things like setting up server or maintaining the operating system. So I think there might be a little confusion with the first one, the infrastructure as service. So let's take some random example. For example, let's say you have a Node.js application, a Node application, and you have the code. So in the infrastructure case, you have virtual server. So in the infrastructure case, you, you just you in the infrastructure case, you will have to configure the environment to make it suitable for your node app. So you don't just put your code and it will run. So you will have to make suitable that virtual server for your node app or for your PHP app if the code base you have is PHP. But in the past case, you will have virtual servers, that's obvious. In addition, there is a ready-made suitable environment for your Node application or for your PHP application. So you don't have to make suitable the virtual environment or the virtual server for your code base. It's already there. So AWS or GCP or Azure, they will handle it for you. So we can give an example for PaaS. For example, there is Google App Engine, there is Microsoft Azure App Services. Uh, in AWS, there is AWS Elastic Beanstalk. We will see this service in day 10, I think. So basically, AWS Elastic Beanstalk lets you deploy and scale web application without needing to handle the servers. So in AWS Elastic Beanstalk, there are a lot of environments. There are a lot of ready-made environment. Like there is the PHP environment. There is, I think there is a Node environment, and so on. Finally, the third one, software as a service. Yeah, in this model, software applications are delivered over the internet, and you can access them directly from a web browser or an application. So basically, SaaS is the easiest model for end users. In this cloud computing model, you don't have an access to the virtual server, even you don't have access to the ready-made environment. So in this case, you don't have to bring your code base to the cloud provider or to, yeah, to anyone. So basically in SaaS, I think uh, giving an example is a more the more appropriate way to explain SaaS. So basically, for example, Gmail is a SaaS service, or yeah, a SaaS service. Microsoft 365, like Word is a SaaS service. So for example, to use Gmail, you don't have to have the Gmail code base. All you have to do is you will just log into the Gmail account, you will fill some form, and you will start using Gmail. So basically, SaaS is SaaS is applications hosted and maintained by the provider fully, and you access them online. You don't have to worry about the installation, the maintenance, the update, the code base. You simply log in and use the software. So SaaS is like subscribing to a streaming service like Netflix. You will just open netflix.com and enjoy the movie. You don't have to worry about anything. So, for example, if you are running a business and need an email system, instead of installing email software on each computer, so bringing the code base and installing on each computer or in on each virtual servers, you can subscribe to Google Workspace. So this will allow everyone in your team to access emails, documents, calendars, uh, and a lot of other things from any device. So basically, software SaaS is a ready-made. Sorry for the interruption. Basically, SaaS is a ready-made software. I think that was enough. So this is the end of our session. Uh, Finally, forgive my poor English, and if you prefer a blog or a text, we will provide a Medium blog for this session, and you can read the Medium blog. We will provide in the description section, so you don't have to watch the video if you don't want to. So there is also a blog option. So I think this is enough for this video. Uh, in the next video, in the day one next video, we'll talk about AWS. Thank you.